Hello, everybody. This is Keya from Wicked Majesty, and you are listening to Tea and Terror Podcast, the show that entertains with true and fictional stories from beyond the grave for people who love horror. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to part 4 of the Masque of the Red Death series. I may have stated earlier that this was the last episode, but I was wrong. There is so much more to this story, and I am ready to share it all with you. As for some of you who may be under the impression that I created this story, please know that I did not write this. The Masque of the Red Death was written by one of my personal favorite authors, Edgar Allan Poe. The idea I have as to what may have inspired Poe to write such a terrifying tale is due to the fact that his whole life was surrounded by death. His parents died when he was around the age of 3. Then later on he lost his wife to tuberculosis. Anyway, that's my theory. Now on with the story.
Amid the profusion of gold ornaments that lay scattered to and fro or depended from the roof, there was no light of any kind emanating from lamp or candle within the suite of chambers, but in the corridors that followed the suite there stood, opposite to each other, a heavy tripod bearing a brazier of fire that projected its rays through the tinted glass and so glaringly illumined the room, and thus were produced a multitude of gaudy and fantastic appearances. But in the western or black chamber, the effect of the firelight that streamed upon the dark hangings through the blood-tinted panes was ghastly in the extreme and produced so wild a look on the countenances of those who entered that there were few of the company bold enough to set foot within the precincts at all. It was in this apartment also that there stood against the western wall a gigantic oak clock of ebony. Its pendulum swung to and fro with a dull, heavy, monotonous clang, and when the minute hand made the circuit of the face, and the hour was to be stricken, there came from the brazen lungs of the clock a sound which was clear and loud and deep and exceedingly musical, but of so peculiar a note and emphasis that each lapse of an hour the musicians of the orchestra were constrained to pause momentarily in their performance to hearken listen to the sound, and thus the waltzers' performance ceased their evolutions, and there was a brief disconcert of the whole gay company. And while the chimes of the clock yet rang, it was observed that the giddiest grew pale, and the more aged and sedated passed their hands over their brows, as if in confused reverie or meditation. But when the echoes had fully ceased, a light laughter at once pervaded the assembly. The musicians looked at each other and smiled as if at their own nervousness and folly, and made whispering vows each to the other that the next chiming of the clock should produce in them no similar emotion, and then, after the lapse of 60 minutes, which embraced 3,600 seconds of the time that flies, there came yet another chiming of the clock, and then there were at the same disconcert a tremulous and meditation as before. But in spite of all these things, it was a gay and magnificent reveal. The tastes of the Duke were peculiar. He had a fine eye for colors and effects. He disregarded the decora of the mere fashion. His plans were bold and fiery, and his conceptions glowed with barbaric luster. There are some who would have thought him mad. His followers felt that he was not. It was necessary to hear and see and touch him to be sure that he was not. He had directed in great part the movable embellishments of the 7 chambers. Upon occasion of this great feat, and it was his own guiding taste which had given.
Well, that is our episode for the week. Thank you for listening. If you want to hear more episodes coming up in the future, then definitely add the Tea and Terror to your playlist on Spotify or Apple Podcast. You can also check out the show on my Wicked Majesty channel. This is Keya, and I will catch you next week. Same time, same place. Have a good night.